Joining me tonight is Mr. Matthew Charles, who is a former prison inmate. He was the first prisoner released under President Trump's criminal justice system reform law called the First Step Act. Mr. Charles, we've had you on before, and it's nice to have you back again. Thank you very much for being here this evening, sir. So I guess I want to get your reaction to this and your thoughts on this question of whether or not, rapists and the Boston bomber, for example, still in prison should have the right to vote while they are still incarcerated.
Well, I mean, it was something that was put forth, and it's kind of hard for me to actually fathom, due to the fact that I do know that while you're incarcerated, you lose some of your liberties. But my thing is, once a person has been completely released and they pay their debt to society and they're back in society, actually functioning, paying taxes, then they should have their rights restored to vote. But during the period that they're incarcerated, it's going to be like a complex issue because of the logistics. You got people that are incarcerated in states that they actually are not from, so therefore their vote will be taken into consideration with that state's count, as well as the logistics. You have the Election Commission as well as the prison, whether it's a North Carolina Department of Corrections or a state facility or the Federal Bureau of Prisons, all working together to make sure that this person has been registered to vote, as well as the candidates and their positions. So there's a lot of logistics that have to be worked out. But my thing is that restorative justice means that once a person has paid their debt and has been released back into society, I fully believe that then they should also have the right to vote.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people agree with you that that's the question, though. That's the heart of this matter, is whether or not someone should have to wait until they have paid their debt to society and they are released from prison, or whether or not some of these hardened criminals that he was questioned about here should have the right while they are still in prison. And it sounds to me, and I don't, are you saying that you think that while these hardened criminals are still in prison, that they have not earned that right yet?
Well, I don't necessarily want to say I've not earned that right yet. I'm just speaking, from my perspective, that I fully understand that once you go to prison, you do lose certain liberties while you are incarcerated. And I know at that time, even for people that are in jail, some states allow the people that are in jail to continue to vote because they haven't yet been convicted of a crime. So once a person is convicted of a crime, then there's a punishment that is sent forth, and that punishment is contingent on the crime that they committed. So I don't understand logistically how it will work. Like I see, you have to have all of those different organizations working in concert with one another, which is kind of difficult because even after a person has been released from prison, they still run into barriers just to get the certification of registration to vote once they're released. So while they're incarcerated, I really don't want to get in a perspective of separating certain individuals based on the crimes that they committed, but I truly understand why the public was, making the statement that they made.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Charles. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for being here.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.